Good afternoon, ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Big Ahmed, and welcome to today's video. Today's video is going to be about Benjamin Netanyahu, the war criminal prime minister of Israel, the one who is committing genocide on the Palestinian people and blames Hamas for everything in the world. Now, without further ado, I'm going ahead and give you some context behind what the video is about. Benjamin Netanyahu came to the United States of America a couple days ago, came to Washington, D.C., and gave a speech at the Congress office, right? Now, when he came here, there was a lot of civilians or Americans who went ahead and were protesting against him at where he was staying. And then we're going to go ahead and check out how Congress reacted to him, right? Two very, very different parallels and ways of reactions. But I find it very, very interesting on how Congress goes ahead and salutes him and views him, and how the American, civilians that have come to protest against him view him and are reacting to him. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into this. By the way, this is how Congress is reacting to Benjamin Netanyahu before he starts speaking, right?
Members of Congress, I now have the high privilege and distinct honor of presenting to you His Excellency Benjamin Netanyahu, Prime Minister of Israel. Thank you.
Thank you.
A minute and a half clapping, whistling, cheering Benjamin Netanyahu, His Majesty, his Excellence, whatever the heck he called him, right? This is wild to me, to see that even more than our U.S. president, even more than the biggest celebrities in the United States of America who stand up on a podium, these grown adults that run the government are giving a standing ovation louder and with more pleasure and with more hype to a genocide dealer, right, than to their own president. Crazy. They're going against their own presidents in their country, and they're giving this guy a standing ovation who's blowing up the Middle East. That is wild to me. It is completely wild to me. It is sickening to go ahead and see Congress giving a standing ovation and clapping so aggressively and whistling and cheering him on and calling him your Majesty and whatever the heck he called him, your Excellence, right? When the stage that is at hand is so disgusting, and the world is watching, the world knows, and look how the United States of America goes ahead and supports him. Look how the congressmen, look how the people in our government go ahead and support this disgusting, vile individual. Then Donald Trump gets on stage, boo. Joe Biden gets on stage, boo. We can't even support our own president. But this guy, baby and woman murderer, genocidal, tyrannical, warlord. Round of applause. That is what our country has come to. This is what our power has come to. This is what our influence in the government has come to. Straight paid out disgusting garbage. That is what our country has come to. And it's so sad to see the way that someone like this gets a standing ovation. The Hitler of our time gets a standing ovation. But our own presidents, our own people who run the country get made fun of and get torn apart. But this guy just walks in and, we're going to give him the biggest standing ovation that anyone's seen in 15 years. Crazy. So this is what was happening outside.
Loud and say it clear.
We don't want no Zionists here.
We don't want no Zionists here.
Benjamin Netanyahu is staying before he meets for Congress. We think it's wrong that he should be in a hotel and be meeting with Congress. He belongs in jail, and the ICJ has reaffirmed that.
The idea is if Gaza can't sleep, why should he be able to sleep? Disgusted that, even in his vicinity, I don't want to breathe the same air as him. I don't want him on American soil. Ugh.
We will never be silent.
This invitation of him shows that they are allowing the genocide to continue. They're inviting him to rehabilitate his image in front of the American public. We will not stand for this.
He is not welcome in Washington, D.C. Instead of having the opportunity to speak to our highest officials, he should be in The Hague in handcuffs.
Can you see? Genocide your legacy! Genocide your legacy!
So, that's what was happening outside. So the whole entire night, they shined lights and banged drums and didn't want him to sleep. They disallowed him to sleep. They went through full protest, not allowing Mr. BIBI Netanyahu to relax, sleep, anything of this nature. They were shining projector lights onto the hotel where he was staying, on his room, that literally said, like, genocide, killer, murderer, Netanyahu, and things of this nature. So people are pissed off. People are not happy about this. There is a full-on genocide going on the Palestinian people, our Palestinian brothers and sisters, who are dying by the truckload, dying by the busload, right? And no one cares. No one cares in a high position of power in the United States of America, in Great Britain, in the countries that have full-fledged power. You have Russia tied up in Ukraine. You have China over there, and so forth. But what's happening right now can go into a full-fledged world war. Everything that is happening right now in the Middle East, what is happening to the Palestinian people, what Israel is calling for, what Benjamin Netanyahu is doing, is something that we have not seen in our lifetime, and it's something that can make ripples that is bigger than World War I, that is bigger than World War II, and changes the whole entire state of the world, financially, economically, physically, in every way, shape, or form, you know? And this is very, very, very scary, and it's something that needs to be dealt with now before it escalates more and more and more and more. Benjamin Netanyahu, as a true war criminal, he is truly, truly, truly going to be held responsible for everything that he has done. If not in this life, then in the afterlife. I so promise you that, as God as my witness. And this individual being invited to Washington, D.C., being able to speak, being able to have a standing ovation louder than our president. Our president's had in 15 years, right? By the Congress of the United States of America. And then to see the reaction of the civilians, of the people, the American people on the outside of the Congress, on the outside of the hotel, who are standing against this oppression, against this genocide, against this tyrannical government, our own and Israel's, is very, very, very eye-opening and crazy to see. It shows two extremes on both ends of the coin, and two extremes that are willing to go through anything to go ahead and get their voice or their message out. And eventually those two extremes will meet with violence, and when those two extremes meet with violence, it will only heighten and get worse and worse and worse until one of those sides' voice dies or goes away. And it's so, so crazy to see. It's so sad to see the time that we are living in. Every single person watching this video, pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, pray to God Almighty to protect you, to protect your family, to give you health, to give you security, and go ahead and do what is right. I promise you. Pray, fast, do these things, and be a good person. Be a good person. God Almighty will protect you. God Almighty will get you where you need to go when you need to go there. He'll protect you. He'll protect your family in this life and the afterlife. And people like Benjamin Netanyahu will burn and rot in hell for eternity. Thank you guys so much for being today. God bless every single one of you. And of course, free Palestine. Never forget what's happening. Free Palestine.